Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are here for the August 2017 post-eclipse episode of the Worldox virtual user group meeting. We would have had this on the second to last Monday of the month, but that was eclipsed by the eclipse. See, that's what happens when you let nerds make jokes. Today we are talking about how to jump to a matter from a document, and from a couple of different perspectives. You're in favorite files, you've got a document on your screen. How do you get to all the documents? How do you get to the matter? Mary Jo's going to show you that. She's giving me the bad eye right now. And I'm going to talk about how to make PDFs searchable for those of you that may not already know that there is an automatic way to do that. Without any further ado, let's see how quickly I can press the right button. There we go. That was the right button. Get into a Worldox screen so that Mary Jo can talk about getting to a matter from a document.
Okay. So we are in, I believe, Paul's favorites. And so depending on what document I am highlighted on, when I hit direct access, that will take me directly to all of the documents for that matter that I'm on. So I think right now we are on one for Purdue Law. It has that name over here. Our client description is a little short over here. But if that I extend it, we can see this is Purdue Law Offices. And if I click direct access, it immediately takes me to Purdue Law Offices because it knows I'm highlighted on that document. And when I say OK, I'm taken to all the documents right away for Purdue Law, and I can choose my proper document that I'm looking for if this one that I had highlighted wasn't the exact one that I wanted. I'm going to go back. And so depending on any of these that I had highlighted, I could get into any of these clients by clicking on that. If I want to get into document or a matter from a document for Practice Master, if you're integrating Practice Master, and let's say I want to get out to Purdue Law and I want to view the journal file or a calendar file or anything like that. Again, I'm highlighting on a document. And when I go up to my Practice Master ribbon, you do have to install the toolbar from Practice Master. There's a Worldox toolbar. This will appear on the ribbon, and I can open Matter Manager or the fee record or a calendar record. I can create a journal record from a document right from Worldox. But I want to just get into the Matter Manager. So I'm going to open Matter Manager, and it's going to go out and open Purdue Law Offices. And I'm now in Matter Manager so that I can go through and look at anything I needed to look at for this client that we have. So it not only lets me open a matter and all of the documents in Worldox, but I also can do it if I'm integrating with Practice Master and get into any of the things that I need to over here. So it's a neat little trick. It's just something that it's a little shortcut so that I wouldn't have to, if I'm not on a specific file and I wanted to just, if I'm on a search and I go to direct access, I'm out here and I'd have to type in Purdue Law, and I'd have to type in the matter, and then I would get out there. Whereas if I'm already looking at a list of documents in my favorites, it makes it a little quicker.
As long as you're highlighting the right thing.
Correct.
For instance, if you came into right up here, let's say you came in and you were on this one, you say, oh, there's a Purdue Law document, I want to go there, and you hit direct access. Well, it's going to take you to whatever cabinet and whatever folder. I have an Amazon folder under email, and I have an unclassified folder here. Whatever folder you're going to. So if I had folders to represent these things, it would actually say Amazon or unclassified. So even if it's not a certain client, maybe you have a folder set up to hold all your confidential partner-related stuff, and you would see those in favorites. Very cool trick. Thank you, Mary Jo. And I'm going to talk. I'm just going to talk. So you've got a bunch of PDFs in here. We find startlingly that no matter how much we talk about it, there's still people that don't know about this thing called Symphony OCR. And it is not really something that I suppose I could go over to the indexer and show you. But let me describe it, because showing it to you would mean nothing. It doesn't really do anything that you can see, that you can appreciate. It's not something you work with. It's something that works in the background. And so if you have PDFs that are being put into your Worldox system they are not automatically searchable unless you make them searchable. Now, some people have a protocol that when we scan a document in the Fujitsu Scan Snap, we have set up Fujitsu to automatically make them OCR. Well, that's great, okay? But there's other places that these documents are coming from. Perhaps you have documents that are coming in as faxes that show up in your email as a PDF. Or maybe you have attorneys that are receiving documents from co-counsel or opposing counsel or directly from the client, and they're just dragging them up to the work zone and dropping them into Worldox. They don't know that they're supposed to make them searchable. Now, you can make them searchable in Adobe, but if you have a 50-page pleading or a 50-page document of any nature, and you go into make readable in Adobe, that's going to take a few minutes, okay? And if you're the person who's scanning all the incoming mail and you're trying to make it readable as you're scanning it, that's going to take longer than just scanning them. In other words, more than twice the time of just scanning them, because scanning a 50-page document can be done in, depending on the scanner, could be done in a minute or two, but making it readable, that could take 5-10 minutes depending on the computer where you're doing it and the processing power of what's going on. So what Symphony OCR does from Trumpet Software is it works in conjunction with the indexer in Worldox, and every new document that shows up in Worldox, it will catch and say, right then and there, is this readable? It'll just look at it and say, is this already in a readable format? And if it's not, it'll put it in a queue to be made readable and to be reinserted into Worldox right where it was left. So you don't even know this is happening. You drop a document into Worldox, it's not readable. An hour later, you go back, and now you can see that the text can be searchable and readable. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be readable? Well, you can read it. When you make a PDF, depending on how you do it, let's say you scan something and make a PDF from the scanner. It's really doing what television does or what fax transmissions do. It's taking that document and breaking it down into a whole bunch of dots that, when put together, form a reasonable facsimile, hence the name facsimile machine, a reasonable facsimile of that document. It does not know that this letter is an I and this letter is an E and that letter is a P. It knows that if it puts the right dots in the right places, it'll make something that looks like an I and something that looks like an E and something that looks like a P. Okay, it doesn't even know that. It doesn't even know what it's making them to look like. It just knows that it should put these dots there. Making it readable makes an additional layer in the PDF document. That original document that's just dots is still there. But there's an additional layer that's added to the PDF document so that the PDF document now knows that this letter is an I and this letter is an E and this letter is a P and that this word is Paul and that this word is Purdue, so that later when somebody searches in Worldox for Paul Purdue, they will find that document, because once it's been made readable, the indexer then makes sure that it's got all the text in that document in its index. So when you search for Paul Purdue, it will find that document, because now that document is readable. So we wanted to let people know about that, because we think it's important. There are some people that have Worldox, usually people that have come to us after they've gotten Worldox, because usually we try to place OCR, Symphony OCR, with every Worldox installation that we do, because we think it's an important part of what's going on. We try to place it with Practice Master if they're using Practice Master for document management. I believe that anytime you're using anything for document management, you should have Symphony OCR to make sure that your documents are readable. Not for you to read, but for the computer to read, so that when you go to search for something, you'll be able to find it. The other thing that Symphony OCR will do, you heard me say that when that document gets dragged into the work zone and the attorney drops it into the Purdue Law Office's matter, he or she doesn't know that they're supposed to make it readable, so it's not readable. But there's also usually in any document store, any document management system, thousands and thousands of documents that were there before. They've been there for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 10 years or however many years. The legacy documents, the documents that maybe have to do with matters that are still ongoing, maybe have to do with matters that are no longer ongoing, but still we need to be able to search those. I want that easement that we used for cattle for this new client, when I did it, I thought it was for Purdue Farms, but I can't remember who it was because Purdue Farms isn't where it was. That's why we want the legacy documents to be readable. So Symphony OCR will also walk through your entire Worldox document store or your set of Worldox documents, looking for documents that may have already been there that had not been made readable in the past. So it takes everything that's there, everything that was there forever, for long ago, and everything that comes in now. It flips them, yes. It rotates them. Yeah, Mary Jo's giving me hand signals here. It also does a pretty good job of making them face the right way so that when they're brought up onto the screen, they're not sideways, because sometimes that can happen with things that are scanned as well. Exactly. So that's that. Next month, we are going to be talking about setting user-level preferences. We have a lot of things in Worldox that we can configure, and for as long as Worldox, or at least as long as I've been dealing with Worldox, they've been configurable on a system-wide level. But now we have the ability right in Worldox to go in and set these preferences just for you. And so we're going to talk about that and talk about how you can do that without messing up anybody else. And we're also going to talk about bookmarks. It's been a little bit of time since we talked about bookmarks, so it's time to talk about them again, how to quickly get to a set of documents without having to search or research or reissue some commands that take a while to get in there. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a virtual user group meeting if I did not take you to attorneycomputersystems.com. And you may notice, you just may notice that when I say that, I emphasize that last S in the word systems, because sometimes people forget about that. And if you do, it will not get you to where you're going. If you hover over the videos link, or if you just click on it, it will take you to a page that describes all of our video titles. And we have 6 of them. Now, 4 of them are live. You're currently in the Worldox Virtual User Group meeting. It is a live meeting. As are the Tabs and Practice Master Virtual User Group meetings, as is the Coffee Pot webinar series, which is a webinar that I give each month on add-on products, things that are extra that can be used within Worldox, within Practice Master, within Tabs. Symphony OCR is a perfect example of that. These are all live. They all are performed on at a certain time. So if we click, for instance, on the Worldox Virtual User Group meeting, we get to that blank page again because Patty is busy out in the other room changing that. So I'm going to actually go to a different one. I'll go to Practice Master while Patty gets that changed to next month. And what you'll see is a description of the user group. This one's Practice Master. An announcement of what the next meeting's topics will be. So here's the title, here's the description, and 2 links. They're both the same link. It's just one shows where you're going and one shows the date and time, but 2 links. Pick your link and click on it, and that's how you can register. As you scroll down, you'll see recorded versions of the prior webinars and virtual user group meetings. This one is the virtual user group meeting that happened about an hour ago, so it's currently in post-production, but everything else is here, and you can just see exactly what the description was and click on the play button and play that video. Now, if you're not into browsing the literally hundreds of videos, we think actually there's close to 1,000 now, so we have to get someone here to count them so we can finally say more than 1,000 videos. If you're not into browsing them, you can also simply type something like email statements or Symphony OCR, or whatever it is you're looking for, and it will take you to, even though I spell email wrong, email statements, it will take you to a list of all the titles that match and have those words and kind of help you to zero right in on what it is that you're looking for, whether it be Symphony OCR or emailing statements or direct access in Worldox. Whatever you're looking to find, that's a good way to find it with the search box. So please take advantage of this. These videos are out there all the time, so you can see them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're waiting for you. Please take advantage of them. That's it for today. Everybody have a good rest of the day, and we will see you in September. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.